Hello and welcome back. This is episode 13 of our Oxygen Not Included Let's Play series, and let's get right into it. So, in the last episode, we more or less finished off capping this incredibly productive cool steam vent. And here we're going to put the finishing touches on it, and then probably explore what these other vents are. We have a natural gas geyser down here. If these are something useful, then maybe we can just set up a whole area down here that's going to be devoted to production of various sorts. So let's take our ladder we have here. This is igneous rock, that's fine. Let's just grab some igneous rock, build our ladder down a little bit further. I think the plan is that we're just going to pump this water back into here to cool it off. Don't think we have a huge use for it at the moment. Not until I get my sort of oxygen set up here to pair with this. And I would like to get... This is emitting steam, but eventually it'll stop once this this pressure is reached. This is a little unfortunate. It actually creates these little pockets that are bad for getting this pressure in line. But, yeah, I think we're just going to set up a pump down here, power it with a hamster wheel, and pump this water back into this area right here. And to do that, we're going to set up a vent. Liquid vent, we'll make it at a gold amalgam. And that's how we're going to get the water back in here. This also give this heat somewhere to go. We'll end up with really hot water for our pump to pump out. It's perfectly fine, because we're going to be using ceramic insulated pipe. No heat's going to get out, it's just going to go straight into an electrolyzer. I think we just want to put this down a little bit further. Yeah, I think I'm fine with people getting a little bit soaked here. It's not like this water's that hot. And we'll just set our pump down here. Research complete. Alright, working our way towards plastics. We're not even close to doing any sort of plastic stuff at this point, but can't hurt to get that started. Algae terrariums, still producing tons of oxygen. 2.5 kilograms per tile up here. That's a lot. Yeah, we've gotten rid of all the polluted oxygen here. What is this storing? Sleet wheat grain. Ooh, yes, I forgot about that. We should definitely be grabbing up all this sleet wheat grain. Let's move another wart seed down here. Get the cooling situation going. It says unreachable dig, but I know that's doable. So that's a lie. Yeah, what else? Jobs mastered. Bert. Have you been a research assistant yet, Bert? Oh, that's right, you can't even research. That's a shame. Well, let's get you on courier then. Dismiss these. Whoops. Whoops. Clicked on the wrong thing. Dismiss those messages. Printing pod. Let's choose a duplicate. Nope. None of you have the trait. Back into goo. Alright. Schedule-wise, I don't want having multiple people on the same schedule. We also still have this extra downtime for Frankie, which we'll get rid of. Sorry, Frankie. Your days of vacationing are over. And I think we're just going to move people down. Frankie can go here. Lindsay can work a little bit more. Oh, interesting. This was the correct downtime, and this was the extra downtime. Alright. There we go. Back to goo you go. So, liquid vent, we will set up a pump down here, which should be able to pump up all this water, pump it into here, absorb a lot of this heat. Plumbing, we could go with an insulated pipe here. I think that's fine. Do something like this, and then we're just going to use liquid pipe. Make it out of, I don't care, igneous rock is fine. Just for now, just to get this pump going. Plumbing, liquid pump, make it out of whatever. And while we're at it, set up just a little bit of tile down here. If I displace this, we should be fine. Boom, boom, boom. And I guess one more. We'll use a large battery. And we're going to take our power, slap up a manual generator right here. And a jumbo battery right here. Wire this all up. Perfect. And we're just going to pump the water back into here. That's how we're going to clear out this area. I don't want my people walking through this water all the time. And I also want to cool off this steam, so this is a pretty easy solution right here. Alright. What else do we have going on? We're still pumping out as much ceramic as we can, because we're ultimately still going to need it to insulate the walls of our base here. We want those wheeze warts as well to help with this cooling situation. Starting to just get a little bit toasty, and starting to impinge a little bit on my farming, which is really where it starts becoming a problem. That's how temperature first kills you off, is it just wreaks havoc with your food production, and then you end up with problems. Not in any particular rush for any of this. We're just wanting to work our way down here slowly, figure out what's here. This sleet wheat we probably want to be cooking up into food. Like, we're fine on our food situation. I guess there was no rush to get the sleet wheat done. Plenty of meal lice. We have meat, muckroot, all sorts of things for our guys to eat. None of it particularly great for their morale, but we don't have them on really high-stress jobs at the moment. We'll work towards that, but because we do want them to eventually get scientist and tenured scientist positions to increase their skill acquisition. Until then, we're good. We Gucci. Is there anything interesting out here that we have uncovered? Not really. So, the other big thing that I want to work on exploring slowly is finding our way down to the... Oh, this for sure. But finding our way down to the oil biome seems like another big priority. Really? I mean, you built the pipe here. Let's just set that to a high priority just so I know that it can be done. It can be done, right? They built a pipe out here. I'm just interested that they built the pipe before they built the other stuff, but that's fine. Eventually we'll need to mop up this water, put it somewhere. But we're slowly going to get this temperature back into line. It was in the 50s, now it's down to 44. Give it a few more cycles, we'll probably be pretty good here. Alright, perfect. Get this all finished up. Start pumping out this area. Start uncovering what these are. Probably cap this natural gas geyser. And get ourselves some power generation down here. Would be nice. There is so much oxygen out here. This is silly. That's the reason why this chlorine isn't really doing that much for us, because it's all compressed down into this spot right here. Maybe that's actually a good idea for opening this up. Let's dig out this. Let some diffusion happen here. I suppose before we do that, maybe we want to set up a deodorizer or two. Can't go wrong with a couple deodorizers. They cost you only sand, which is a very plentiful resource. Eventually you can use regolith for them as well. Alright. Eventually someone will get to this as well. Might as well tell them to dig out this bleach stone, I suppose. I'm not in a rush. Alright, so the other big thing that we wanted to work on, which really got put on hold while we worked on all these other things, especially since we found this geyser, was we wanted to start working towards fiber and setting up some sort of thimbleweed farm. Because we want to eventually get the decor up in all these places. Right now it's pretty bad. I mean, this Great Hall is fine, but everything else is, like this bedroom, for example, is pretty terrible. Would be nice to get all that sorted out. Finishing up the final touches here. That's fine. Alright. So this should, in theory, let this chlorine kind of rise up as more air gets displaced into these areas. And that will improve our disinfecting. Man, where did the chlorine go? There's a lot of it down here, I suppose. But we had a whole thing of chlorine all here. And now we have basically all oxygen. Man, we just generated a lot of polluted oxygen and turned it into oxygen, I suppose. But this is supposed to be a disinfecting area. That's the whole reason why we put these kilns out here, so that the clay that we were putting in here would not have germs on it. But I suppose the chlorine did its job. Just we're a little bit scared of digging out more at this point, because we don't have the chlorine covering those areas anymore. How's the temperature doing? Still at 44. I mean, it's possible this is the steady state because we just have all this other hot area around it. It's possible. Is this where all our coal is too? Oh, this is probably what's taking us a lot of manpower. Well, let's dig out some of this then. Have some coal for these kilns, because I don't want people running all the way here to fetch their coal. Is this really where all of it is? It's possible. Oh, look at him. Little Drecklet. Little baby Drecklet. Oh, he's so happy. He's so happy. Little tiny, teeny tiny baby. Alright. Oh, there's a lot here as well. Chlorine just sucked into that pocket. Okay. So. Deodorizers. Awaiting filtration medium. Let's increase the priority a little bit. Let's check on jobs. Lindsay. Alright, you have the basics of mining down. You're a gopher. Let's get you on... Whoops. Let's get you on research assistant. Get your skill acquisition a little bit up. Everybody's going to get an education. In the long run, it's one of the best things you can do. Getting that extra learning means they're just going to have all better extra skills over time. Sand delivered. Perfect. Keep this germ situation under control. What does Buddy Bud do? Ooh. Maybe we want to replace these with Buddy Bud. Yeah, I think that might be the thing we want to do. What does Buddy Bud need to grow, though? Anything? Let's uproot one of these and replace it with Buddy Bud and see what happens. Research still continuing in this fairly poor decor area. We're not really worried about stress, so it's not that big of a deal. But eventually we're going to be bumping everybody up to tenured scientist and higher, and having the extra morale is going to go a long way. Coal. There's a lot of junk over here. A lot of junk over here as well. Eventually we're going to be sweeping up a lot of this stuff. For now I think we're fine though. Atmosphere, temperature, air pressure. Okay, this is all fine. Buddy bud. How are the jobs going? Frankie is looking to be next. And research. We still don't really care too much about any of this. We have plastics, but we're nowhere near having our plastics industry up and running at this point. I think we want to work towards this. And pretty soon we'll just be researching anything and everything without even thinking about it. We'll just plop it down. This water's a reasonable temperature. And we are just pressurizing this entire area. This is a little unfortunate, because there's just these little pockets that have sometimes no gas, sometimes a ton of gas. Still pumping out our ceramics. Germ situation is good. There's still chlorine in this area, which is important. They still have not dug out this. Interesting. It's still amazing to me how effectively these algae terrariums have worked out. They used to be just absolute garbage, and now they're pretty good. Maybe even a little bit overpowered. Let's finish up that while we're at it. Not that it's that important. We technically don't need these corners, I believe. But it looks better. Helps with my OCD. I could enable auto harvest on all this sleet wheat. That wouldn't be that bad of an idea. We do like that free food production. We can also think about just getting rid of this little farm area right here and start making use of this area. We want to set up a loop ultimately, but it's possible that we end up just taking a lot of the water and pumping it down here. That should be Frankie. Yep. Alright, Frankie. You've done Gopher. Let's do research assistant. Send our kids to college. Give them the opportunities to know why they're being burned horribly in steam vent exercises. I don't know. Their lives aren't going to get better. They're just going to be a little bit smarter. Maybe that says something about the world as well. Did I just get deep? I don't know. Alright. I don't even know what I'm saying. Point being, we do want more wheezeworts as well. Have this one over here. Let's start setting up some in our base, I believe. And for now, let's actually think about... Yeah, just setting up one right here. Where else are we starting to develop some temperature problems? Yeah, pretty much all around the edges here. We're starting to run into issues. That's why we need that ceramic Technically, we could just be using igneous rock. It's pretty good as well, but I don't like. I like having my final barrier up. I don't like having to go through twice. Like put on a second layer of igneous rock or something like that, or another layer of ceramic after the first layer. Just prefer things this way. So, what else do we need doing? Still don't know what we're doing with this water down here. There are a lot of choices. Go ahead and dig out that. Progress on this has been pretty slow. I could raise the priority, but this steam vent is still emitting. So it's still able to compress a little bit more steam here, right? So we're getting some cooler water pumped in here is not super important at the moment. Mopping up this would be kind of nice, but also doesn't seem super important. So I'm not sure what we want to do with this water yet. And we have these other areas of our base that we've kind of already dug out that we can repurpose. This latrine is not necessary at this point. Get that planted. The latrine isn't necessary at this point. This farm is going to be superfluous because we have all this sleet wheat coming in now that we've tapped into a cold biome. In fact, let's just... anything that we have access to, go ahead and auto-harvest. Make it real simple. Get us that sleet wheat. So, how are we doing on clay? Cultivatable soil. We are a little bit low on clay. So I want to dig out some more of this area, but I still don't really have the chlorine where I want it to be. Any diver's lungs? Nope. Not at all. Alright. Turning you back into goo. Man, this chlorine did not take us as far as we would have liked. I still can't believe that basically this entire area was chlorine. We even tapped into this right here. And it's all just been compressed down into a little bit here and then this part right here. Man, physics. Physics is crazy, yo. I was hoping we'd have this basically the entire area flooded with chlorine. That way we'd be just auto-disinfecting everything that we came across, but instead we've kind of resulted... We've turned to what is usually the thing that you do, which is just using a lot of deoxidizers, or deodorizers, I should say. Let's uproot this as well. How's the decor value? I mean, it's pretty nice. We do need to sweep up this area a little bit here, but other than that, yeah, we need more clay to make more ceramic to get the insulation for our base. Slowly making progress on this. That's fine. Well, I need the clay. And we will risk a little bit of germiness. In order to get that clay. How are we doing temperature-wise? These are kind of fine. Alright, let's set this one to run forever as well. Still have a good amount of coal here to fuel it, so I don't really need to dig out more. Alright, I think we're going to cap the episode here. We've got the vent all set up, and it's really just waiting around for other stuff to complete. We do need to cook up this sleet wheat, but we've got plenty of oxygen pretty much everywhere. We're going to work on our temperature control. We're slowly working our way towards getting our base self-sufficient, so that if we just left it for a while, it actually would still work out. We're not quite there at the moment, just largely for heat reasons, but we're not far off either. So I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, have fun and enjoy the videos.